So we're driving back from CI headquarters in Carpinteria. We surf Rincon. With some head high sets coming in today, really crowded. I didn't get one good wave, to be honest with you, but I did have fun. Now, we were up here shooting for the new model called the Fishbeard. It's a twin fin. Board's really fun. I've been riding it a lot at home, but I think where I had the most fun is hanging out with Britt. We went to coffee and breakfast afterwards, and we kind of just started talking about fins, boards, twin fins, having a blast. We turned the camera on, and I think you guys will like it just to be a part of the conversation like a fly on the wall. Check it out. Been riding a bunch of twin fins on top of boards that you've been shaping, and I'm just absolutely hooked on the Merrick Keels.
Yeah.
So a few things that I have is where'd the fin come from and how'd you do that?
Yeah. Well, at the factory we have this sort of framed display of a bunch of my dad's old fin templates that he made randomly over the years. We just found them at one time, put them together in this frame, but he's got them drawn up on sandpaper, lined paper, scrap paper. Some of them are labeled, they've got years on them, or they've got like, if you took them off other boards, it's got the name of the board and all this stuff. So that's kind of become a reference for us. And we knew we wanted to do a keel fin, so we were looking at those fins, and we just found one that had like a good front curve and a good back curve. I think it was a small quad fin from the early 80s that my dad had. And then we just stretched it. We just like manually stretched it and drew it up because we just like the curve in the front and the back. And I don't know, there's just something about, I think, my dad's curves and fins that he just got that stuff and it worked. So we just literally stretched that thing out, made it into a keel, and just kind of corrected the rake at the end. And it goes super good. What it seems to do is really, more than other keel fins, is project and hold.
Right.
Project and hold. I think the cool thing about the keel fin, as opposed to the more upright style twin fins, like an MR style twin fin, is those are a bit more
Pivotal.
Pivotal.
Yeah.
Right. Which is cool. But I think for guys like us that we cut our teeth on thrusters, we can only do pivotal for so long.
Right.
And then we really kind of want that thrust and that projection and that hold.
Sure.
And that's what I think the keel fins do. And especially these ones, is they project through the turn and accelerate through the turn, but then they really hold and you can push on them.
Right.
So like when I've been riding them, when you engage the back part of that keel fin, like under your heel, you know what I mean? And you've got that engaged with the rail in the water, and you're pushing as hard as you can, you could feel, and I think part of that is because of the cutout in the back of the fin, which is perfunctory, just so you can get it in and out of the box. But it turns into real performance because I think that thing loads up. Right. When you engage it, you can feel it like loading up, and then just, wow, it's got like that whip at the end.
Sure.
So I think that when you lose the drag of the middle fin, but you get the projection that you kind of associate with the thruster and the hold, but you get that freedom of the twin fin, that's what that's doing.
So you said earlier that you've been riding a lot of twin fins.
Yeah.
Okay, so backside, for me, the Merrick Keel is the next level for hold.
Yeah.
So most of the time when I get on a twin fin, front side I can kind of work on heel toe pressure and try and get it to not slide out as much, and it seems to be easier for me front side. Backside, I go to the bottom, and compressing into my bottom turn, it just feels like most other pivotal twin fin sets. I don't care who's by, even if I'm adding more surface area, it just feels like I'm kind of like walking on ice in my tennis shoes. Like there's that little bit that it could just let go. But with the keels on yours, backside, I feel as confident with that fin as I do a thruster. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the rake on that and where its point is in the back.
Another way to think about it is if we think about an object in the water and how much water it displaces or pushes, right? Or the resistance it's created. So if we took your iPhone and if we like dipped it in the water and we moved it back and forth like this, there's a certain amount of resistance.
Sure.
If we took this breakfast plate and we put it in the water and we moved it back and forth, there's way more resistance. Right? Which also equals hold. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this you're going to be able to put it in the water and move it around any way that you want with very little resistance or hold. You put this in the water and now you have a lot. And I think this is like an upright twin fin, and this is more like a keel.
Sick.
You know, this has that rake. You could even see it. It looks like it's that kind of curve.
Right.
And so I think it has to do with what it does to the water with that much resistance in that surface area.
Sure.
But you can't just have like straight up surface area, so it's about that rake again.
Right.
And then again, I think that perfunctory but really important release point at the bottom does something. I think the other thing to dial with keel fins is the angle, the cant or the splay, right? And I think that traditional boards that are using keels for a lot of times are really straight up and down. And what we're trying to do with that fin is go beyond just lateral surfing. Sure. So a lot of those style fishes with straight up and down keels are very lateral. And there's a certain wonderful feeling about that. You could really high line. You go and you do kind of a long downturn. But we're always interested in how do we go get that high line speed feeling and then go like that.
Right.
Like be able to go straight up or come with a really tight turn. So part of that for us has been playing with the splay or the cant and getting that just right. And I think you'll notice that on the Fishbeard, we're setting the fins further out than you'll normally see on a keel style board.
And then how about fin placement on the Fishbeard? Would you say it's where a normal twin fin is, or you move that back too a little bit?
No, they're further back. For example, like the CI Twin, if you took like the size board that you ride, a 5.5 or a 5.6 or something like that, those fins would be up around 10 inches. And this would be an inch further back. So on your Fishbeard, it would be about 9 inches.
Okay.
Yeah. I think part of that is you're not going to have the little buddy fin, the little trailer.
Sure.
Right? But then the other part is, I just think the surface area of the fin, I think that you want that back raked part of the fin to be right by just inside the rail on the back. So there's a formula to getting it kind of far enough back. Because I think when you get the engagement of the rail and the tip of the fin right there, there's something to that. So yeah, we've moved them back further.
Sick. Stoked to have coffee with Britt, hear his thoughts on the Merrick Keel and why they go so good for me, and then kind of an introduction for you guys on the Fishbeard. Now, we've been putting this board through the paces for the last few weeks. Been riding it in a variety of different wave types. 1 to 3 foot high tide beach breaks, going good. And then dabbling in the point breaks, waiting for more swell to really get this board a true test. But this is what's going on for me right now. We started on the low end range. This board comes in at 5'4", 24.9. You know I like my boards quick, high performance, agile, in small transitions. And it's doing that. But I'm thinking, what if I had more rail line? A little something more to drive off of. A little bit more foam. So I ordered it middle of my range, 5'5", 25.5 liters. Riding this a few times, it's feeling good. It's actually feeling better. This is the opposite in which I go in most fish type reviews that I do. I end up going shorter, wider, thicker, and this one's just the opposite. Now I'm thinking on the higher end range for me, what about a stock 5.6 at 26.4 liters? Adding that rail line. Now I can maybe use a more pivotal fin, have more fun. That's what's going on for this review right now, and I really believe that's what this is all about anyways. What's going to work best for you? What are you looking for, and what are the different options? And since surfboards are so expensive, we're going to push this review. Britt's going to join us, and it's going to be worth the wait, so stay tuned.